The crash came out of nowhere. 1 second, Jae-sung was talking to a minister. The next, the kitchen door burst open and a girl flew straight into him like she'd been shot out of a cannon. A tray spun out of her hands. Food scattered everywhere, tiny fancy appetizers raining down like expensive confetti. She hit his chest hard enough to knock the breath out of him. And that's when it happened. His body reacted. Not a slow spark. Not a warm stir. A full, sudden, painful rush straight to his groin. And then his dick woke up for the first time in 8 years. 8 years of nothing. 8 years of doctors, pills, blank stares, and awkward silence. And now it just sprung back to life? Hey darlings, if you're already hooked by this collision, wait until you see what happens next. Hit that follow button so you don't miss a single moment of Jae-sung and Adana's twisted love story. Trust me, you'll want to see how this dangerous obsession unfolds. She looked up at him with wide brown eyes, flour on her cheek and curls bouncing around her face. Oh my God, sir, I'm so sorry. Her voice was like the trigger. That Nigerian accent that sounded almost British. It curled around him like warm smoke, sliding down his spine and settling low, too low than appropriate. He tightened his hold on her waist before he even knew he was doing it. She was soft, warm, and felt very real. And everything inside him lit up like it had been waiting for her. She tried again, flustered. I swear I didn't mean to bump into you. He had to say something. But his brain wasn't working. His body was loud, distracting and throbbing in a way he hadn't felt in years. He finally managed. Who are you? His voice came out rougher than he intended. Almost like a growl. She blinked, startled and scared. I'm with catering services. It's my first night. I'm so sorry about your suit. Her manager came running. She bowed, apologized, and dragged the woman who had woken his manhood away like she'd committed a crime. Yet, she kept glancing back at him, with confusion and maybe a little scared. Jae-sung stood there in the middle of Seoul's most dangerous gala, surrounded by people who feared him, and all he could think about was the fact that he was hard in a $3,000 suit. Taehyung slid up beside him. Boss? You look strange. I'm fine, Jae-sung muttered, voice tight. Find out who she is. Taehyung blinked. The kitchen girl? Yes. I want every detail. Now. He didn't wait for a response. He just walked out of the gala like a man escaping a fire. The car ride home was torture. His body wouldn't calm down. His driver pretended he wasn't noticing anything in the rearview mirror and failed. 8 years. 8 years of his body shutting down. The doctors said it was trauma, that his mind was protecting itself, a lot of nonsense he'd learned to accept. But one accidental collision with a girl covered in flour, and suddenly the switch was back on. By the time he reached his penthouse, he moved like a man possessed. Straight to his office and straight to the security feed. There she was, laughing as she pushed through the kitchen door. She was beautiful, with skin that looked rich and reminded him of expensive chocolate. He replayed the moment they collided over and over in his head. Her hands on his chest. His fingers catching her waist and feeling her softness. Her eyes meeting his. His body reacted instantly again. Unable to endure it, he unzipped with shaking hands. The first real relief he'd felt in almost a decade hit him hard, too hard. When it was over, he just sat there breathing, staring at the paused footage of a girl who didn't even know his name. His phone buzzed. It was Taehyung. Her name is Adana Okafor. 23-year-old Nigerian. A culinary graduate working 2 jobs and with a 47 million Korean won student debt. She lives alone and has a clean record. He read the message slowly. He should let her go. Ignore her and pretend tonight never happened. Instead, he typed back. Send flowers to her workplace. Write my name on the card. No hesitation. No guilt. Just the rising, dangerous feeling he hadn't felt in years. Want. The flowers were ridiculous. He knew that. 24 black roses, because regular roses were boring, with a card that just said his name. Not even a message. What was he supposed to write? Sorry I fucked you at a gala. Thanks for waking up my dead dick? He watched the delivery through the catering company's lobby camera. She came in during her shift, saw them at the front desk, and read the card. Her face went confused, then cautious. She asked the receptionist something. The woman shrugged. Adana looked at the flowers for a long moment, then threw them in the trash. Jae-sung actually laughed. He caught himself, surprised at what just happened. When was the last time someone had thrown his gift away? He liked it even though he shouldn't have. But he did. Taehyung stood behind him, watching the screen. That went well. Shut up. Want me to send more? No. He closed the laptop. Spun his chair around. I'll handle it. Boss. Taehyung's voice went careful. Maybe this isn't what? Smart. She's a civilian. You're dangerous. I was going to say complicated. Jae-sung stood and grabbed his jacket. The casual one, not the designer armor he wore to meetings. I'm going out. Where? None of your business. But Taehyung knew anyway. Pulled up her schedule. She is at the convenience store shift. It starts at 11. I didn't ask. You were about to. Jae-sung left before he could admit that was true. The store was small with fluorescent lights. Absolutely beneath his notice on any normal day. He pushed through the door at 11:47 p.m. The bell chimed. She stood behind the counter, reading something on her phone. Her hair pulled back with no makeup. She looked tired yet still beautiful. His body responded immediately. He was half-hard just looking at her. She glanced up. Welcome, she paused, then recognition flickered in her eyes. Oh. Hi. God, was that his voice? He sounded almost nervous. Hi. She straightened. A bit wary now. Can I help you? We've met before. I crashed into you. Yes. I remember. I'm really sorry about that. Don't be. He moved to the counter and grabbed a bottle of water he didn't want. I'm Jae-sung. I know. She rang him up. 1,200 Korean wons. He handed her a 50,000 Korean wons note. Her eyebrows rose. I don't have change for this. Keep it. For a bottle of water? For the conversation. She paused and looked at him properly now. Really looked. He saw the exact moment she decided he was trouble. I don't need 50,000 Korean wons for conversation. She handed the note back. And I don't really have time to chat. Busy shift. The store was empty except for them. He liked her more by the second. The flowers were weird. No offense. None taken. Why did you send them? Because you made me feel something. Because I haven't been able to think about anything else for 3 days. Because I'm obsessed. Felt like I owed you an apology. For being rude. You weren't rude. You were intense. She crossed her arms. Defensive posture. Look, I appreciate the gesture, but have dinner with me. The words came out before he planned them. Direct and almost desperate. She blinked. What? Dinner. You pick the place. I don't even know you. That's what dinner is for. I'm working. Tomorrow then. I'm working tomorrow too. When are you working? She hesitated. He saw her calculating. Saw the moment something clicked. Wait. She pulled out her phone. Typed something and showed him the screen. It was a news article with his face. Mafia boss Kim Jae-sung acquitted in assault case. His stomach dropped. That's you, she said. Not a question. Yes. You're a criminal. Allegedly. The article says I was acquitted. Because witnesses disappeared. He couldn't deny that. Wouldn't insult her intelligence by trying. I should call the police, she said. You should. He leaned against the counter casually, non-threatening. Even though they both knew he was the most threatening thing in her life right now. But you won't. Why wouldn't I? Because you're curious. Because I haven't actually done anything to you. And because he gestured to the empty store. I could have done something already if I wanted to. It was the wrong thing to say. He saw her face close off. You need to leave. Adana. How do you know my name? Of course she hadn't told him. Big mistake. The catering company. You looked me up. Her voice went cold. Scared now. After one random collision, you looked me up and found out where I work and showed up here. Yes. At least he was honest. That's stalking. Yes. I could press charges. You could. He straightened and pulled out his wallet. Left 1,200 Korean wons on the counter, the exact change. But here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you because I don't have time for games. I want to have dinner with you. Just dinner. Just conversation. And if you say no, I'll leave you alone. Promise? He couldn't. No. Her eyes widened. But he continued, I'll make it worth your time. Name your price. Excuse me. You have student debt. 47 million Korean wons. I'll pay it off. For dinner. The color drained from her face. You looked up my finances? I look up everything. That's insane. That's a criminal act. Probably. They stared at each other. The fluorescent lights hummed. Someone walked past outside, their shadow sliding across the windows. One dinner, he said quietly. I'll pay your debt. You never have to see me again after that if you don't want to. And if I just say no right now? He smiled. Not a nice smile. Then I'll buy the store by morning. And your apartment building. And blacklist you from every restaurant in Seoul. Her breath caught. You can't. I can. I have. I will. He stepped back, giving her some space. Or we could just have dinner. The silence stretched. You're threatening me, she finally said. I'm offering you options. That's the same thing. No. A threat would be if I took away all your options. He moved toward the door and paused. Thursday, 7 p.m. I'll send a car. Think about it. And if I'm not there? He looked back, held her gaze. Then I'll know I was wrong about you. Wrong about what? That you're brave enough to face a monster for one night. He left before she could respond. He sat in his car for 20 minutes, breathing hard, harder than he'd been since the collision. His phone buzzed. It was Taehyung. She's still at the counter, hasn't moved since you left. Another text, she's crying. Guilt hit him then. Sharp and unexpected. He should call it off. Should leave her alone. Instead, he texted back, send the car Thursday. 7 p.m. If she's not there, pull back all surveillance. And if she is there? He stared at his phone. Then we're in trouble. She was there. Jae-sung saw her through the car window, standing outside her building in a simple black dress, nervous yet beautiful beyond comparison. His driver opened the door. She got in slowly, like she was entering a cage. Hi, she said. Hi. He couldn't stop staring. You look scared? Beautiful. She didn't smile. Where are we going? My restaurant. I booked a private room just for us. Of course you own a restaurant. 3, actually. Now she did smile. It was small and looked bitter. Must be nice. The drive was silent. She stared out the window. He stared at her, memorizing her face, the curve of her neck, the way she bit her lip when she was thinking. He was half-hard again. Had been since the car reported she was waiting outside. The restaurant was elegant when they arrived. Modern Korean fusion, Michelin-starred. He'd bought it 2 years ago on a whim. His manager met them at the door and bowed deep. Mr. Kim, everything is prepared. The private room was on the 3rd floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Han River. Table set for 2. Enough food for 10 people. Adana stopped in the doorway. This is too much. I didn't know what you liked. You could have asked. Would you have answered? She moved to the table and looked at the spread. Korean dishes, Japanese, French. You really don't do anything small, do you? No. She sat down. He sat across from her and watched her take in the room. The wine, the untouched elegance of it all. I Googled you, she said suddenly. I assumed. Really Googled you deeply for 3 hours. So, did you find anything interesting? Depends on your definition of interesting. She met his eyes. Murder. Extortion. Trafficking. Assault. 47 alleged crimes, yet 0 convictions. 48, actually. But who's counting? You're not even going to deny it? Would you believe me if I did? She picked up her fork, put it down. The trafficking charges. What was that about? Here it was. The question everyone asked eventually. Rival family was moving young girls, too young, from the Philippines and Myanmar. I found out and shut it down violently. You killed them. Some of them. And the girls. They are safe now in different countries. New identities and protected. She studied his face. The news made it sound like you were the one trafficking them. The news prints what they're paid to print. So you're what? A vigilante mob boss. I'm a businessman who has limits. How noble. I never claimed to be noble. He poured her wine. She didn't touch it. I've done terrible things, Adana. Will probably do more terrible things. But I have lines. Children are a line. Women who can't protect themselves are a line. And me? What am I? You're everything. You're oxygen. You're the first thing I've felt in 8 years. Your dinner, he said instead. She almost laughed. You paid 47 million Korean wons for dinner with me. Haven't paid it yet. Meal's not over. Right. She finally picked up the fork and tried the japchae. Her eyes widened. Oh. Oh, this is good. My chef trained in Jeonju. She took another bite. Then another. He watched her eat, watched pleasure cross her face. His body responded predictably. Why me? She asked between bites. What? You're rich, powerful, and terrifying. You could have anyone. Why are you stalking a broke culinary school graduate? Because you make me hard just by existing. Because for 8 years I thought I was broken beyond repair. You're interesting. That's a lie. You're brave and beautiful. You threw away my flowers, showed up tonight even though you're scared of me. That's interesting. Or stupid. Maybe both. She smiled then. Actually smiled. It hit him like a punch. Tell me about your cooking, he said. Why? Because when you talk about food, you light up. I saw it at the gala. Before you crashed into me. Stalker. Observant. She set down her fork and leaned back. My grandmother taught me. Back in Lagos, before we moved to New York. She could make anything. Take scraps and turn them into feasts. She said, her voice softened. She said food was love made visible. Do you believe that? I did. Before. She gestured vaguely. Before debt and double shifts and realizing Korea doesn't want Nigerian fusion cuisine, no matter how good it is. I want it. You want me. 2 different things. She was direct and honest. He liked that. Yes, he admitted. I want you. Why? I don't know. That's not good enough. He set down his glass. This was dangerous territory. But she'd been honest with him. Deserved honesty back. 8 years ago, something happened to me. Something bad. And after he paused. How to explain this? After I stopped feeling things. Emotionally. Physically. Everything just shut down. She frowned. What do you mean? I mean I've been numb for 8 years. I couldn't feel pleasure. Couldn't feel pain. Couldn't feel anything. Recognition dawned. Oh. Doctors called it a trauma response. Protective mechanism of some sort. My body decided my feelings were dangerous. Until you crashed into me. The silence that followed was deafening. She trailed off. That's a lot of pressure to put on someone. I know. I didn't ask for this. I know that too. And you still want me here? More than I've wanted anything in a very long time. She stood abruptly and moved to the window. He stayed seated. Gave her space even though every instinct screamed to follow. This is crazy, she said to the glass. Yes. You're dangerous. Very. I should leave. You should. She turned to look at him. Really looked. You'd let me go? Just like that? After the threats and the money and all of this. He gripped the table edge hard. Needed something to hold on to. If you walk out that door right now, I'll have your debt paid by midnight. No strings. You'll never see me again. Promise? Yes. Another lie. He couldn't promise that. Would probably watch her from cameras. Would definitely make sure she stayed safe. But he wouldn't approach her again. She walked toward the door. His heart actually hurt. An intense ache like never before. Her hand touched the handle. Wait, he said. Drop a comment below telling me if you think Adana should trust him or run. And if you're dying to know what happens when things heat up between them, make sure you're following this channel, because the next part gets intense. Adana paused. One more thing. She looked back. Cook for me. Twice a week. Here or anywhere. A private dinner. I'll pay off your debt regardless. But cook for me. Your food, your way. Nigerian or Korean or American. Whatever you want. That's it? Just cooking. Say yes. Lie. Keep her close. That's it. She studied him. He saw her weighing options, calculating the risk. The second you touch me without permission, she said slowly, I disappear. Debt paid or not, I vanish. Agreed. And this is really just cooking? You're not going to. I'm not going to force anything. Ever. He stood now. Needed her to see his face. I want you, Adana. I want you so badly it scares me. But I want you to be willing. Or not at all. More silence. The city glittered below them, beautiful and dangerous. Twice a week, she finally said. Cooking only. 50 million Korean wons. 47 Korean wons. You made me terrified for 3 days, so 50 Korean wons. He almost smiled. Deal. She walked back to the table, held out her hand in businesslike fashion. He took it, shook once. Her skin on his sent electricity up his arm. They both felt it. He saw her breath catch. Thursday and Sunday, she said, pulling back. 7 p.m. Perfect. And Jae-sung. Yes. If you're lying about any of this, I have a very good aim with kitchen knives. Now he did smile. Noted. She left without eating more. He stayed at the table, hand still tingling where she'd touched him, body aching with want. Taehyung appeared in the doorway. That went better than expected. Did it? She didn't call the police. Didn't run screaming. Didn't stab you. I'd call that a win. Jae-sung touched his lips. Imagined what she'd taste like. She agreed to cook for me. Is that all you want from her? No. Didn't think so. But it's all I'll take. Unless she offers more. Taehyung looked skeptical. You? Showing restraint? This I have to see. Make sure security is discreet. She gets spooked easily. Boss. Are you sure about this? She's... What? Young. Innocent. Everything you're not. Jae-sung stood. Fixed his jacket. I know. That's the point. He went home and touched himself thinking about her hands on his. Came harder than he had since the collision. Twice. Thursday couldn't come fast enough. She showed up early. Jae-sung watched through the kitchen camera as she arrived at 6:30 p.m. with bags of groceries and nervous energy. His chef had left the kitchen pristine. Top-of-the-line equipment with anything she might need. She stood in the middle of it all, looking overwhelmed. He gave her 10 minutes, then knocked on the door frame. She jumped. Oh. Hi. The kitchen is incredible. It's yours for twice a week. She started unpacking. Vegetables, spices he didn't recognize, a whole chicken. Nigerian, he asked. Nigerian-Korean fusion. I thought we'd start with something familiar for you. Build up to the weird stuff. I like weird things. We'll see. She tied an apron, washed her hands, and moved like she owned the space now with confidence. You can sit. Or leave. Whatever you want. I'll stay. If that's okay. It's your kitchen. It's yours for the next 2 hours. She paused. Then looked at him. Something shifted in her expression. Her eyes became soft. Thank you. He sat at the counter and watched her work. God, she was beautiful when she cooked. Completely focused. Tasting, adjusting, humming under her breath. She butterflied the chicken. Rubbed it with suya spices and gochugaru. The smell hit him, peppery, smoky, complex. What is that? Patience. You'll see. She roasted it. Made jollof rice with kimchi stirred in at the end. Banchan with Nigerian spices. Pepper soup with Korean radish. He watched her for 2 hours. She never stopped moving. Never stopped creating. His body responded, but he controlled it. Kept his hands on the counter. Kept his distance. This was enough. Just watching her. It wasn't enough. Not even close. Finally, she plated everything and set it in front of him. Okay, be honest. If it's terrible, just... He took a bite of the chicken. Closed his eyes to feel the taste. The spice hit first. Then the heat. Then something complex underneath, cumin, ginger, sesame. It was familiar and foreign at once. A perfect combination. Adana. Is it bad? This is incredible. Her whole face lit up. Pride, relief, joy. He ate slowly, savored every bite. She sat across from him, watching anxiously. The kimchi and the jollof, he said. That shouldn't work. But it does. It really does. He tried the soup, nearly groaned in ecstasy. Where did you learn this? Trial and error. Lots of errors. My roommate in culinary school was Korean. We'd cook together. Experiment things. Drive our neighbors crazy with the smells. They were idiots then. She smiled, a bit relaxed now, and started eating her portion. They ate in comfortable silence. The tension from before had eased up. This felt a little bit normal. Can I ask you something? She said. Always. The thing that happened 8 years ago. You don't have to tell me. But was it? She hesitated. Was someone hurt? His appetite disappeared. But she'd cooked for him, been brave. So she deserved truth. Yes, someone was hurt. He set down his fork. We were engaged. She wasn't involved in the business. A normal girl with a normal job. A teacher. I kept her separate from everything. Or tried to. Adana went very still. A rival family found out about her and took her. They used her to get to me. His voice went flat, emotionless, and automatic. Like reading a report. They kept us in the same room. Made me watch while he stopped. 3 days. Then they killed her anyway. Because I wouldn't talk. Oh God. I got out eventually and killed them all. Every single one. He looked at his hands. But she was already gone. And something in me broke. It has been broken since. Until you. She reached across the table. Stopped just before touching his hand. Can you what? Touch you. Just your hand. His heart hammered. Yes. Her fingers brushed his. Light and careful. The contact shot through him like electricity. He felt alive. She laced their fingers together and squeezed once. I'm sorry that happened to you. Not your fault. Still sorry. They sat like that, holding hands across the table. Her thumb traced circles on his palm. His body responded, but it felt different this time. Not just physical, it was something deeper. I should go, she said eventually. Stay. It came out too quick. I mean, dessert. There's dessert. The chef left it. She smiled. Okay, dessert. They moved to the living room with huge windows. He brought out chocolate souffle that neither of them really ate. She curled up on the far end of the couch. A safe distance from him. Tell me about Lagos, he said. She did. Talked about her grandmother. The markets. The noise and color and chaos. Her voice went soft with homesickness. Why'd you leave? Culinary school scholarship. It seemed like a dream at the beginning, she laughed bitterly. Then it turned into a nightmare. The debt, the discrimination. I was basically invisible everywhere I go. You're not invisible. To you. Because I literally crashed into you. Even before that. I noticed you in the kitchen. Before you came through the door. Stalker. We've established that. She pulled her knees up and studied him. You know this is insane, right? This whole thing. Yes. You're a criminal, I'm a chef. You're 42, I'm 23. You have PTSD and I have trust issues and yet here we are. Here we are, she echoed. The moment stretched. He wanted to kiss her. Wanted it so badly he could taste it. Instead, he stood. I'll call you a car. Surprise flickered across her face. Oh, okay. Same time Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. He walked her to the elevator. They stood in the hallway, 3 feet apart. Jason, thank you for dinner. For listening to my rambles. Thank you for cooking. It's literally what you're paying me for. Still, the elevator arrived. She stepped and then turned to face him. See you Sunday. The doors started closing. He stopped them with his hand. Adana. Yes, you're not invisible. Not even a little bit. The doors closed before she could respond. He went back to his apartment. Stood at the window. Watched until her car disappeared into Seoul's nighttime traffic. Then he locked himself in his bedroom and took care of the problem she'd left him with. Came with her name on his lips. 3 more days until Sunday. He wasn't sure he'd survive them. The second dinner was easier. The third was comfortable. By the fourth, They'd developed a rhythm. She'd arrive and cook something amazing. They'd eat, talk, sit too close on the couch. He never touched her without permission. It was killing him. Week 3, she made a gussie soup with short ribs. The smell filled his entire penthouse. "This is my grandmother's recipe," she said, stirring. "Exact measurements. She made me memorize it before I left." He sat at the counter and watched her hands move elegantly and confident. "She'd like you," Adana continued. "She had a thing for dangerous men. My grandfather was supposedly some kind of local tough guy. She never confirmed it, but she reached for a bowl at the same time he did. Their hands collided, his on top of hers. The feeling was electric, like always. But this time, neither pulled away. She looked up at him. He looked down at her. "Adana." His voice came out rough. "Yeah, I need to touch you. More than this. He stopped and got himself under control. "But I won't. Not unless you want me to. And if I do want you to?" His breath caught. "Do you?" She turned her hand over, lacing their fingers together. "I think about you more than I should." "That's not an answer." "I'm scared. Of me? Of this. Of wanting someone I shouldn't want. Someone who could destroy my life. I wouldn't." "You already are." "I can't concentrate at work. Can't sleep. I'm falling for a mobster, and it's the stupidest thing I've ever done." "Don't." He pulled back, forced himself to. "Don't fall for me. I can't be what you need. What if you're exactly what I need?" He stared at her. This beautiful, brave, impossible girl. "Kiss me," she whispered. "Adana. Just once. I need to know if it's real. If this," she gestured between them, "is real or if I'm imagining it. It's real. Prove it." He moved slowly, giving her time to change her mind. Pulled her closer by her hips. She came willingly. "If we do this," he said against her lips, "everything changes. Maybe I want everything to change." He kissed her. Soft, careful, like she might disappear. 8 years of nothing poured into this one moment. She melted against him and made a small sound in her throat. Her lips parted open. He deepened the kiss. Tasted her like a dish he wanted to savor forever. Pepper and sweetness and her. His hands stayed on her hips. Hers moved to his chest, his shoulders, his hair, anywhere she could touch. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, she said, "Okay. Yeah, it's real." He almost laughed. Would have if he could remember how. "Sunday," she said. "Come early this time. Before dinner." "Why?" "Because I can't wait 4 more days to do that again." Sunday, he arrived at his own apartment to find her already in the kitchen. Not cooking, just waiting. She launched herself at him the second he walked in. They kissed against the wall. The counter, the refrigerator. It was frantic and desperate. Like they were making up for lost time. His hands roamed freely. Her waist, her hips, the curve of her ass, he touched everywhere. She gasped against his mouth. "Bedroom. Are you sure? Do I feel unsure?" She didn't. She felt certain. Confident and wanted. He lifted her. She wrapped her legs around his waist. They barely made it to the bedroom before their clothes came off in stages. His shirt fell first, then her dress, followed by his pants. He laid her on the bed and looked at her. All of her. Dark skin against white sheets. Full soft curves. "You're staring," she said. "Can't help it." "Then stop staring and touch me." He did. Mapped every inch of her with his hands, his mouth. Relearning what bodies could feel like. What his body could feel like. She arched under him, whispered his name like a song. Guided his hands where she wanted them. 8 years, she asked. 8 years. Then we should make this good. She flipped them over and straddled him. Taking control. He let her. Needed her to. Needed to know she wanted this. Chose this. When she sank down onto him, they both groaned. "Okay," she asked. "Better than okay." His hands gripped her hips. "Perfect." She moved. Slow at first, testing, finding a rhythm. He watched her. Couldn't look away. The way she bit her lip. The way her breasts moved. The way pleasure crossed her face. 8 years of nothing and now this. Her. "Touch me," she breathed. He sat up, wrapped his arms around her and buried his face in her neck. Breathed in her scent. She rode him harder, faster. Chasing something. "I've got you," he murmured against her skin. "I've got you." His hand slipped between them. Found her clit. She came with his name on her lips, trembling and clenching around him. He followed seconds later. 8 years of pressure released all at once. They collapsed together, breathing hard and tangled in sheets. "Holy shit," she said eventually. "Yeah, that was. I know." She laughed lightly. He rolled them over and looked down at her. "What?" she asked. "Nothing. Just memorizing this." "Creepy. Probably." She pulled him down for another kiss. Slower this time and more tender. "Stay," he said against her lips. "I was planning to." They didn't cook that night. He ordered takeout instead and they ate in bed, naked. Talked about nothing important. Everything important. "Tell me something true," she said, playing with his fingers. "Like what?" "Something you've never told anyone." He thought about it. "I'm terrified of losing this. Of losing you. Of my body deciding to shut down again." "Has it?" "Shut down?" "No. The opposite. I can't stop wanting you." "Good." She kissed his palm. "Because I can't stop wanting you either." They made love again. Slower this time, learning each other. He took his time. Tasted every inch of her, made her come twice before he even entered her. "Show off," she gasped. "Just making up for lost time." After, she fell asleep in his arms. He watched her for hours, counting her breaths and feeling her heartbeat against his chest. Real. She was real. And she was his. 3 months in, they developed a routine. She moved in. Not officially, but just gradually. A toothbrush appeared, then clothes, then her entire spice collection took over his kitchen. He didn't mind. He wanted her there, wanted her everywhere. The sex was constant. Kitchen counter, shower, against the windows overlooking Seoul. They couldn't keep their hands off each other. "You're insatiable," she said one morning, wrapped in his sheets. 8 years, remember? That excuse is wearing thin. "Would you like me to stop?" She pulled him back down. "Don't you dare." But it wasn't just physical. She made him laugh, made him want to be better, made him feel human again. He started pulling back from some of the darker business and let Taehyung handle things he didn't want her to know about. "You're going soft," Taehyung said one afternoon. "Maybe. That's dangerous in our world." "I know. Is she worth it?" Jae-sung didn't hesitate. "Yes." But Taehyung was right. Going soft was dangerous. The rival families noticed. They started testing boundaries. It was small things at first. Little territory disputes, delayed payments. Then bigger things. A shipment got hijacked and 3 of his men ended up in the hospital. "We need to respond," Taehyung said. "Hard. Or they'll think you're weak." "Handle it." "Boss." I said handle it. He didn't tell Adana. He didn't want that darkness touching her. But she noticed anyway. "You're stressed," she said one night over dinner. She'd made pounded yam with a gussie soup. His new comfort food. Work stuff. The illegal kind? He paused. "Yes. Do I want to know?" "No." She set down her fork. "Jae-sung, if we're doing this, really doing this, you can't protect me from who you are." "I can try." "I don't want you to try. I want you to trust me." He told her some of it. The rivalry heating up, the attacks getting bolder. "Are you in danger?" she asked. "I'm always in danger." That's not reassuring. It's honest. She moved around the table and sat in his lap, wrapping her arms around him. "I'm scared," she admitted. "Good. You should be. But I'm not leaving. You should do that too." "Too late." She kissed him. "I'm in this now. All the way in." He held her tighter. "I don't deserve you." "Probably not. But you're stuck with me anyway." That night, they made love differently. Slower, like they were memorizing each other. Just in case. The attack came 2 weeks later. Adana was at the penthouse alone. Jae-sung was at a meeting across town. She'd just finished prepping dinner and the chicken was marinating. The explosion came from the front door. Not a knock, an explosion. She dropped to the floor on instinct. Her heart hammering in shock. Men poured in from nowhere. masked and armed. She scrambled backward, grabbed the closest weapon her hands could find, a cast-iron skillet. "Where is he?" one of them asked in thick Korean accent. "I don't know what." "Kim Jae-sung." "Where is he?" "Not here." Her voice shook. "We know. That's why we're here for you." Terror flooded her, but also anger. She swung the skillet as they approached her. It connected with the nearest mask, and the sound of bone crunching filled the air. The man went down. "Bitch!" Another grabbed her violently. She bit his hand hard till she tasted blood. Gunfire erupted in the air, but not at her. Jae-sung's security team burst in. His men were armed and efficient. The attackers scattered in fear. 2 got away, 3 went down. 1 she'd hit with a skillet. Then chaos. Shouting, sirens in the distance. Strong arms grabbed her from behind. She struggled and fought until... "Adana. It's me. It's me." Jae-sung's voice. When had he gotten there? She stopped fighting and collapsed against him, shaking in fear. Couldn't stop shaking. He lifted her and carried her away from the bodies and the blood. He took her and set her on the couch in his office. "Are you hurt?" His hands were everywhere, checking for injuries. He was frantic. "No. I'm okay." "You're bleeding." "That's not my blood." He pulled back to look at her. Really looked. "You fought them." "I had a pan." "You had a fucking pan and you fought armed men?" "They were going to take me." "You should have run." There was nowhere to run. He crushed her against him. She felt him trembling. "I could have lost you," he said into her hair. "I could have. But you didn't." "I'm here." "I'm okay." Taehyung appeared in the doorway. "Boss, we need to move her now. They know about her. They'll come back." Jae-sung nodded. He stood, still holding her. "Where are we going?" she asked. "To a safe house outside Seoul. We'll stay there until this is handled." "What about?" "Everything else can wait. You're the priority." The safe house was in the mountains. It was remote, beautiful, and fortified. She hated it. "I'm a prisoner," she said on the 3rd day. "You're protected." Same thing. They fought for the first time. Really fought. "You don't get it," she said. "I left Nigeria to have freedom. To build my own life. And now I'm locked in a house because of you. Because men want to hurt you to get to me." "Exactly. Because of you. So, what do you want? You want to leave? Go back to your apartment? Wait for them to grab you?" "I want my life back." "Your life is here. With me. Where I can keep you safe." "That's not love, Jae-sung. That's possession." The words hung between them. "Maybe it is," he said quietly. "Maybe I am possessive. Obsessive. Fucked up. But you're alive. And you'll stay alive. Even if you hate me for it." She stared at him. "I don't hate you." "You should." "I know." She moved closer. "But I don't." She kissed him angrily and desperate. They made love on the floor. It was rough and intense, like they were taking out their fear and frustration on each other. After lying tangled together, she said, "We can't live like this." "I know. So what do we do?" He was quiet for a long time. "I'll end it," he finally said. "And what?" "The rivalry. The threat. All of it." "How?" His jaw clenched. "You don't want to know. Tell me anyway." "I'm going to kill them. Every single one who came after you. And their boss. And anyone else who thinks you're a target." She should have been horrified, should have run. Instead, when? "Tomorrow night. I'm coming with you." "Absolutely not." "Jae-sung." "No. This is the one thing I won't negotiate. You stay here where it's safe. I'll handle this. And if something happens to you, it won't." "You don't know that." "I do. Because I have something to come back to now." He cupped her face. "I have you. And I'm not losing that." She kissed him and poured everything emotions into it. Love, fear, hope. "Come back to me," she whispered. "Always." He left at dawn. She watched from the window as he left with 10 cars and 20 men, all armed to the teeth. Taehyung stayed behind to guard her and make sure she doesn't leave. "He'll be okay," Taehyung said. "You don't know that." "I know him. He's never been more focused. More determined." He paused. "You're good for him. I got him into this mess." "No. You gave him a reason to end it. The hours crawled by. She cooked, because that's what she did when stressed. Filled the safe house kitchen with food no one would eat. Her phone buzzed hours later. It was a video call from Jae-sung. She answered. Are you? I'm fine. It's done. Behind him, she could see carnage. Bodies laid on the floor, blood everywhere. Oh God. Don't look, just listen. It's over. They're gone. All of them. No one will come after you again. You're sure? I'm sure. He looked exhausted. Covered in blood but alive. I'm coming home. To the safe house? No, home. Our home. The penthouse. I want you in our bed. Where you belong. Jae-sung. I love you. The words hung there. It was the first time he'd said them. I love you, he repeated. I should have said it sooner, but I'm saying it now. I love you, Adana. And I'm coming home. Tears streamed down her face. I love you too. Yeah. So much it scares me. Good. Fear means it's real. He smiled. God, he was handsome, even with the blood. See you in 3 hours. The call ended. She sat there and started crying. Then it turned to laughter. Taehyung handed her a tissue. Told you he'd be okay. He killed people for me. He's killed people for less. That's supposed to make me feel better? It's supposed to make you understand who he is. And who he is someone who loves you enough to burn the world down to keep you safe. She thought about that. Thought about the man who couldn't feel anything for 8 years. Who found her in a collision. Who learned to be human again. I can live with that, she finally said. Good. Because he's never letting you go. 6 months later. The restaurant opened on a Tuesday. Ada's Kitchen in gold letters. A Korean-Nigerian fusion menu. Her vision and dream. Jae-sung funded it. He didn't ask for anything in return. Just handed her the keys and said, build your dream. The critics came. Everyone was skeptical, some curious. They left raving and shocked. A revelation. The future of fusion cuisine. Chef Okafor is a star. She stood in her kitchen and cried happy tears. Jae-sung found her there and pulled her into his arms. I'm so proud of you, he murmured. I couldn't have done it without you. You absolutely could have. I just made it happen faster. She turned in his arms to look up at him. He changed too. Now a bit softer around the edges. Smiled more, laughed occasionally. Yet still dangerous. Still a criminal, but hers. Take me home, she said. We have a restaurant full of people. They can wait. I want to celebrate properly. His eyes darkened. Yeah. They barely made it to the car before his hands were on her. Made it to the penthouse barely. Their clothes shed in the elevator, the hallway, the bedroom door. He lifted her against the wall. She wrapped her legs around him. I love you, he said, entering her. Show me. He did. Thoroughly. After tangling in sheets for hours, she traced his scars. Do you still think about her? She asked quietly. He knew who she meant. Sometimes. But not like before. Before, the memories were all pain. Now, he caught her hand. Kissed her fingers. Now I can remember the good parts too. Because you showed me I could feel again. That's quite a line. It's the truth. She snuggled closer. What happens now? What do you mean? We can't just live happily ever after. Not with your job and your world. Why not? Because someone will always be coming after you. After us. Let them come, I'll handle it. He tilted her chin up. I told you. You're my line. Anyone crosses it, and I'll burn everything down. Again. That's insane. Probably. And romantic in a really twisted way. That's my specialty. She kissed him. Move in with me, he said when they broke apart. Officially. Not just your toothbrush and spices. I mean everything. I basically already live here. Then make it official. Marry me. She froze. What? Marry me. Be mine officially, legally, and permanently. Jae-sung. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy. But I'm 42 years old and I wasted 8 years being numb. I don't want to waste another second. That's... If you say no, I'll accept it. I won't push, but I'm asking. Marry me, Adana. She looked at him. This impossible man who'd been broken and learned to heal. who'd found her in chaos, who loved her with everything he had. Yes, 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 you insane mobster. I'll marry you. He kissed her so hard they both forgot to breathe. They made love again. Slower this time. Like they had all the time in the world. Maybe they did. The wedding was small and private. His people, her people, flown in from Nigeria and New York. She wore white, he wore black. The traditional outfit. Taehyung was the best man. Never thought I'd see this day. Surprised, shocked, impressed, and slightly concerned. Concerned that she'll realize she can do better. Jae-sung laughed loudly. Too late. She's stuck with me now. The ceremony was short. The kiss was long. At the reception, her grandmother pulled him aside. You hurt my granddaughter, I'll curse you, she said in Igbo. He'd learned enough to understand. I deserve it, he replied in the same language. She smiled and approved. Later, dancing with Adana, he said, your grandmother threatened to curse me. Good. I taught her which curses work best. You're terrifying. I learned from the best. They swayed together. Her head on his shoulder. His arms around her. Happy, he asked. Ridiculously happy. She looked up. You. I didn't think I could be happy again. Then you crashed into me. Best collision of your life? Only collision that mattered. 1 year later. Adana stood in their penthouse kitchen cooking. She was always cooking. Jae-sung sat at the counter watching her. You're staring again, she said. Can't help it. It's been over a year. Hasn't the novelty worn off? Never. She smiled as she plated the food and set it in front of him. He ate, closed his eyes and muttered, perfect. You always say that. It's always true. She came around the counter and stood between his legs. He pulled her close. I'm pregnant, she said. He went very still. What? Pregnant. We're having a baby in 7 months. His hands moved to her stomach. It was still flat, but not for long. You're sure? 3 tests sure. How long have you known? 2 days. I wanted to be certain before I told you. He looked at her, tears glistening in his eyes. We're having a baby. We're having a baby. He kissed her softly, then kissed her stomach. Hi, baby. It's your dad. I'm kind of a mess, but your mom is perfect. And I promise, his voice caught. I promise I'll keep you both safe, always. Adana ran her fingers through his hair. I know you will. A baby. Scared? Terrified. Me too. But happy. So happy. They held each other. In their kitchen. In their home. Building their new life. How'd we get here? She asked. You crashed into me. And you couldn't let me go. Best decision I ever made. Even though I came with complications? Especially because you came with complications. He stood, lifted her onto the counter, and stood between her legs. You gave me my life back, Adana. Gave me everything. You gave me everything too. She cupped his face. Even the scary parts. Especially the scary parts? Especially those. He kissed her deeply this time. Thoroughly and filled with promise. Outside, soul glittered. Inside, they had each other. A restaurant, a baby on the way, a future neither thought they'd have. I love you, he said against her lips. I love you too. Forever, forever. And in that moment, in that kitchen, the man who couldn't feel anything learned the most important feeling of all. Completion. And they lived happily ever after, the dangerous, complicated, absolutely perfect kind. That's the end of Jae-sung and Adana's story. If this dangerous, obsessive love hits you right in the feels, show some love with a like and follow for more stories that'll keep you up at night. Drop a comment with your favorite moment. I read every single one. See you in the next story.